Join me every Tuesday for fun and games and play for cash. That's right. Sylvia Mid, the fun word guessing game is back and you can come aboard and play. It's simple. Just email us your name and contact information and you are in there, baby. Yeah.
Hey, it's Smooth Tim and Larry Ian. How you doing, Larry? Hear that bang? I was setting my coffee cup down. Bang. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Oh, just same old man, getting by. You know how we do it.
On this beautiful August day, and hey, it's typical August. August 3rd now? Thursday, August 3rd, and it is hot, hot, hot still everywhere. Still breaking temperatures. Still having all kinds of fires, and I see that
No,
I
it's
see
the
there's a
first, ain't it?
it is
First.
Thursday, the third, Larry. Yes, it is. In any regard,
Got my days jacked up.
well, you got your. That's what happens when you free roaming man is out there having fun. You lose track of time, days. It doesn't matter. That's all right. Anyhow, no, I see there's all kinds of stuff going on. Like I was saying, I guess there's a fire out in Las Vegas now. So,
Huh,
you
not
know,
good.
finally, hey, if we could get rid of all that smoke and improve our air quality, maybe we could start working outside and shit, right?
True.
I don't know. Anyhow, hey man, we've talked a little bit before about how an authoritarian and can utilize certain words and label things certain ways, and they can condition their followers, or what do we referred to it before as like a cult mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was an interesting conversation they had with a gentleman that I'd like to listen to, and it had to do with how they utilize words, and especially in Trumpisms. Let's call it ever Trumpers.
United States.
There are various theories of how language affects the brain. One of these is that even a single word can shape thoughts and beliefs. I'll give you a simple anecdotal example and then connect it to the larger frame of how language works. If I were to ask you or give you a biscuit and you tasted it and said, tastes very good. So far, your taste or gustatory reaction and your mental frame for that biscuit is positive. Then I would reveal to you, it's a dog biscuit. What would happen to that reaction and to that taste? They would change. What happened? Was it the biscuit? No, it was the word which connected the concept of biscuit and dog to a larger frame of how we perceive, interpret the world. Now, imagine having words like parasite or animal or dog, and then blame someone for being that way, for being a dog or what have you. Why is it effective? Because it's part of a conceptual metaphor that says people are animals. The great liar, as Machiavelli once wrote in his Prince, is able to take that substratum and twist it for whatever purpose, manipulative purpose that they want. What I found in looking at history and looking at how experiments with malicious language, such as Hitler's Germany and Stalin's Russia, is that they're able to tap into a historical formula that a lot of people respond to. Simple example is the idea of a cabal behind the scenes. You can call it a deep state, you can call it whatever you like. If your belief that there is such a cabal or such a deep state is strong, but dormant. All you need is a great manipulator of that theory, of that conspiracy theory, bringing it out into the open and then making you connect the dots, which psychologists call hypophenia. And you've got a large group of people. Once it enters into groupthink, then it can become a very dangerous movement, fascism, Nazism, and so on.
So, Professor,
the system is below the surface. It's unconscious. It's below the threshold of understanding. So when someone like Donald Trump refers to the deep state, there is something in the history of America, something in the history of other areas of the world that resonates. The ones that have been most attacked for being behind the scenes, of course, are the Jews. And anti-Semitism reverberates when you bring up the idea that they are behind some pattern or some system that we see before us, which has to be interpreted. The idea is that who controls meaning controls the mind. And if the mind is a part of a social system, then it becomes part of groupthink, and then you have a serious problem.
He's right on point with that, wasn't he?
We talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that a few times. I'm like, yeah, that's how it works when it comes to
Groupthink.
sociology. Yeah, groupthink, groups of people. You bring up an idea, and if it's strong enough for everybody to believe in it, you get a large enough masses of people to believe in one idea and one thought, and they're going to bring everybody else in, and then they're going to think the same way that one person thinks because of that general idea or thought that already underlies. It's already there. So yeah, it's simple.
Oh yeah, and if you think of the ways that you can label an individual, if you want to be anti-white, and you say, the pinko slave owning whiteys, right? Or I could reference the black race in a certain derogatory labeling way, and that's what he was saying.
I have a great idea. For example, the court system, or when it deals with murder or something like that, a heinous crime is committed. A lot of times I hear this terminology used towards black people in courts like they're monsters. Okay, but if the same crime is committed by a Caucasian person or whatever, they're not considered monsters. They're more sympathetic towards them. But black people are monsters.
Again,
but
think of that word.
With the same crime. Now, all of a sudden, if something heinous happens, every black person that kills somebody is going to be labeled as a monster. When the same white guy or same white woman kills somebody, they're going to be labeled as someone that didn't have a chance or was lost or was whatever the hell it's been. So I've seen that happen a lot of times. I think once I've heard a white female get called a monster, and I was watching a crime show recently. It's the only time I heard them call a female monster, even though they played the sympathetic role towards her. But
that immediately puts a picture in your mind as a juror. Oh, a monster.
And then you start looking at everybody.
Shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that one word, but then it could be labeled as any other person too. But I've seen it labeled in the court system as most of the black people are monsters. I'm like, they're not the first person to commit a crime like that. A lot of people have done it before and after them. How come they're not monsters also? So, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in just politics, especially. So,
even in a relationship, Larry, break it down into our own personal lives and the power of words within our own personal lives and how you refer to your spouse and or your children. The name you select, can have a huge impact.
And you know what? A lot of fathers that don't take care of their kids are called deadbeats. But they don't call mothers deadbeats when they don't take care of their children.
Yeah, when they just abandon their children, so to speak. Yeah. You're right.
You see the difference? It's just that we're being a label. It's like they label people, and that's just a stigma. That's what goes on. Every time somebody does something and you're a man, you're considered a deadbeat. But that's not necessarily true.
And I don't think it's necessarily true either. But, unfortunately, I think that stigma goes along with the black male society.
That's real bad with us, yeah. Deadbeats. I'm like,
deadbeat dad. And it's, well, why do you think that? Because
of
most of the black men that I know, quite honestly, are good fathers.
But a larger percent of families lack, if you go by the numbers from every race, the black household has less fathers than any other race or ethnicity. period. Look, if you look at it's by the numbers, numbers don't lie. So, and that's one reason why. And that started back when the 70s. It started back with slavery. So,
Yeah, I don't know
and
what to
that's
say.
something.
I don't have. Yeah, well, you know.
But the number, if anybody look it up, the numbers don't lie. I guarantee you, it shows the statistics of the households that have black fathers compared to the white households, the Hispanic households, Asian households. There are less black fathers in the households than any other race. Caucasian is number one, and then I think it's Hispanic, then maybe Asian, but we're last in that category. So that deadbeat, and it's the numbers don't lie, and it looks bad. So, but for what reason? So you never know. But
I don't know, Larry. I have no idea. But anyhow, still the power of words, and one thing I wanted to and this happened back in 1943. This kind of goes along with the first thing that we was talking about. This is a you notice how I keep coming up with all these old ads last time, whatnot. Daddy's a fudge packer. But in any regards, this one is from 1943, and it's check it out. And
in 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
Using federal law in section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, I will order my government to deny entry to all communists and all Marxists.
There it is. The biggest labeler in the world. Doesn't he love to label people?
yeah, they using old terms, communists and Marxists. I'm like, that stuff is so old school. That's the first thing you learn and put in psychology and sociology when you first get into college. He's so behind the power curve,
About
man.
labeling somebody like that?
Yeah, he needs to start speaking up to date and start using up to date things and moving. It goes to show you that he's not trying to move our people forward.
But it's so sad that and you see it, and like he says, hey, if you say it enough, people start to grab onto that stuff, and it, if I call you a name long enough, lazy Larry, lazy Larry, lazy Larry. Pretty soon, people are, oh, hey, lazy Larry, how you doing? All right.
Right. It's like, be careful what to say to your kids. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you tell your kids the truth, tell them the truth. You always got to tell them the truth, but you can't always drag it on. Okay, even if they are lazy, you don't have to be lazy, but you are. So stop or whatever, because the power of words are crazy.
Oh, absolutely. You can.
You can't take it back. Once it comes out, it's there. You can't take that back.
No, but it's interesting how they can pick something out, that people don't like, and it could be, the border, or it could be, our economy, or what else is going on, and it's because this wouldn't have happened if Lazy Larry would have done something about it, right? And our economy would be a lot better, if Lazy Larry would do something about it. That's why Terrific Tim is running for president, and I guarantee I'm going to fix it all.
And all I remember is
Lazy Larry.
Lazy Larry. If he would have done
If he would have done something about it.
But I will.
Even though it's all working. Right? All I have to say, you're
right.
not. Yeah, it can be a complete fabricated bunch of BS. That's the amazing
No one
part
does research. They too lazy. They just jump on and run with it. A lot of those people don't even know what those words mean, or what's where they originated from, or where they came from. They don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's amazing. Is you listen to some of these people at the different rallies, and what's the one item that you're really concerned about coming up in the 2024 election? What's the one biggest concern? Like Lost in Space. It's like, what? That Trump gets elected? I mean, what?
Out of all these years, these politicians that have come up here and said they're going to do this and do this, how many times have they actually done it? I'm talking about really, really done it. Other than Lyndon Johnson during the Civil Rights Movement. other than that, no president has ever came up and just changed the game. No one for
Yep.
the better of the people.
Very, very few have been able to accomplish
I
what they
mean,
actually
Lord, I'm
set up.
talking. I like just one small thing, but I mean some really significant things that are really going to move us forward. The economy, pay raises, to do with homelessness, the spread of wealth, infrastructure,
That
schools.
would make sure then everybody would actually have to work together, Larry. That's the problem, And what I think they
It's
get
a beautiful.
concerned about is they're going to get steamrolled. Well, if we let the Republicans get their way, we're going to get smashed, and it's going to be nothing but Republicans winning elections. We can't let that happen, so we got to spin it a different direction, and vice versa. It's like they're so concerned about their political party and they're less concerned about the people.
Yep, that's it. And people should wake up and notice that shit, and they don't.
And it would be so easy. I'm like I said, I really have no political preference. I don't consider myself this, that, and or the other. I want somebody's going to do something. I don't
The
need
right
the I don't
man.
need the lip service, and I don't need the name calling. I don't need the authoritarianism. I need somebody who can work with the various branches of government and get things done, and not be calling other parts of the government names. I mean, look at what's going on now.
It's
You
messy.
know, what now, the CIA, the FBI, all that's all corrupt now, right? Because they're investigating what? Because they're doing their job, they're corrupt. All right.
And they all knew about it. They all knew about it. I'm pretty sure they did. They all knew what was going on with this conversation, politics scandals. It's all out there. American
Yes.
the people don't really know, but they know. They got the wiretaps. They're at the scenes. They got inside people to talk because everybody talks. So they knew.
And well, the government knows a whole lot more than they ever do tell us. In fact, that kind of leads us right into the next thing. And check this out. And obviously, they knew this was going on for a minute.
Those reports that China may have planted malicious software in key utility systems supplying U.S. military bases around the world. The possibility likely to increase recent tensions between Washington and Beijing. ABC White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is joining us now in Washington with the latest. Mary Alice, good morning.
Well, good morning. The administration is clearly on high alert when it comes to these cyber threats, and officials have been urging local public utilities that serve military bases to step up their defenses. This morning, a new report from the New York Times saying the federal government is urgently trying to find cyber malware that could be catastrophic for U.S. infrastructure and military readiness. A National Security Council official telling ABC News in a statement, the Biden administration is working relentlessly to defend the United States from any disruptions to our critical infrastructure, including by coordinating interagency efforts to protect water systems, pipelines, rail and aviation systems, among others. In May, the Biden administration issued a bulletin acknowledging that they have seen an increase in Chinese state-sponsored cyber activity, writing that this activity affects networks across U.S. critical infrastructure sectors and urging public utility partners to step up their cyber defenses.
All right. You feel like you are you scared your utilities are going to get cut off?
Can't be no worse than that ice storm we had last year. I'm like, okay, come on, man. I'm listening.
That's
I
what I
was
said.
saying that.
Obviously, back. So they've known this for a minute. So finally, back. What did they say in May? They decided, well, yeah, utility companies serving different military bases. You might want to beef up your security, your cyber security, because and you don't hear that much about it on the news, right? And
Man, Tim, I
why
think it's
don't
all
they put something like that out so that you at home? I mean, my home system could easily have some type of malware on it, right? Or my phone could. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on. And why don't they let you know so that you can help combat this thing instead of just letting some country come in with their cyber threats and then worrying about oh, well, we might lose power here or there.
It's so funny though, because a lot of American companies use companies in those areas to make their products and bring them back, import, export. I'm like, you in cahoots with Korea, China, whatever, because they export and importing with them or whatever. They go to the colleges in the United States, Some of my friends are Asian. They're in the military. They work in these. They have businesses here in the United States. I'm like, if you were so worried about them tapping into our infrastructure, why the hell would you let them come here in the first place? Utilize all our resources. Why
Right.
don't you allow them to buy land?
And we talked about that last week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know some countries where you can only rent. You can't buy land in that country if you're not from there.
Exactly.
So,
Well, they
so
have
you,
that. They have. Think about the way it is in the actual state of Hawaii. If you're not a native system or native and or of I think is Japanese descent, you can't
mhm,
buy property there.
that makes sense to me. But I guess in America, it belongs to everyone.
Apparently, in that open market seems to be, as we discussed last week, a problem.
Yeah, but there's a problem now because it's a defense problem. I'm like, you did not see that coming?
Now there's this. There's all kinds of tensions with China because what was it 2 3 weeks ago we were talking and they were like they was moving that ship in and around us and almost had a near collision and shit, and it's like, I don't understand. They're still shooting off rockets towards Okinawa. So
Man, they doing all that crap to keep us
yeah, just trying to
misinformed,
keep the
or they're
tensions
cutting
going.
side deals.
Well, I mean, they got side deals going on with Russia. They're, trading, they're supplying arms rather to Vladimir and his war effort. So, I'm not Vladimir, but Putin.
Putin. That's just plain stupid. And I look at it and I listen to it and I've read about it. See, the thing about it, Tim, I read about these things in books before, and it's still happening again. History always repeats itself. Always.
Economically driven.
It always repeats itself. This stuff that's happening now didn't happen before. It's
That's
going to
that's
happen
the thing.
again.
If you look at the economy in the flow of the economy, when the economy starts getting bad, tensions go up. You get the productions of war machines and weaponry, and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Then when it goes back down, it's all normal. Then the Cold War, and then here we go back again. So
Here we go
it's
again.
I'm
Yeah, it's
not
a
even I'm
cycle.
not even yeah, I'm not even shocked by what's happening because, like I said, our country allows anyone and everyone to come here and have an opportunity to do whatever. And then a lot of our technology comes from overseas. You
Yeah,
can
you ever
fix a
wonder if
phone.
there's something can be embedded in there?
Yeah, you can fix a phone here in America, or fix it. You fix a place, but you can't build it, and build all that technology here. It's built over there. So stop using the technology. Stop using their resources, and just cut them off completely. But they not. So then I'm feeling y'all need to just shut the hell up and deal with it.
I think they have like some X1 chip that they're selling us that, is secretly going to take over the United States on the year 2028.
I would not be surprised.
Mark my
It's gonna.
words.
I'll be surprised. Yeah, be on the show.
2028. We just mark it. Yep, you heard it first on this show.
We're gonna turn to robots. We're gonna be
Everybody got
yes,
it. Yep. Yes, sir. Yep.
yep, yep.
My leader. Hey, anyhow, speaking of corruption, you ain't gonna believe what some Connecticut police officers, or not Connecticut police officers rather, but Connecticut State Patrol thought would be a great idea.
6, a scandal involving Connecticut State Police and thousands of fake tickets now heating up.
And lawmakers are demanding answers. Governor Lamont says those who intentionally did this should be let go, including management.
Our chief political reporter Susan Raff is at State Police headquarters in Middletown with what all of this means.
There are big problems for the Connecticut State Police. It is possible that hundreds of troopers falsified thousands of traffic tickets. Those hired to uphold the law are now being investigated for breaking it. A recent audit found troopers falsified nearly 26,000 traffic tickets, and more than 32,000 were inaccurate. Ken Barone pushed for the audit after an internal investigation found 4 troopers had falsified tickets.
There's no evidence that these are real people.
Barone says this has raised concerns about skewing racial profiling data.
The unmatched records were more likely to be white drivers, identified as white individuals, and the records that should have been likely reported to the system and were not, were more likely to be Hispanic motorists or motorists of some other race.
The investigation found troopers did this for their own personal benefit. Troopers who appear productive are often eligible for federally funded overtime.
But they got caught. They got busted.
They say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. Trying to get that OT.
Isn't that sad though? They're writing tickets on people, what, on like dead people and shit. I mean, like, where are they getting these names? You know, and they talk about voter fraud, right? Let's talk about citation fraud.
Can you imagine, like, say your father died 10 years ago, you get a ticket in the mail saying, what?
Yeah. Your dad, who's dead for 10 years, you get a citation for failure to appear.
Yeah, he's driving a casket. What was he?
How the hell did he pull that one off? Yeah, I wonder how they did that. But, they show some productivity. I wonder how they have those reports in there. They're probably just looking at the individual database within the agency and not what's going into the state and into the courts, actually, right?
So you know about that better than I do.
But, you maintain a database of all your, from the time that they made the traffic stop to the arrest, when they went to jail and when they went to court. Yeah, all that stuff's record. But, is it necessary, and that's what you're looking at. Okay, they made the arrest, blah, blah, blah. Does it really track the conviction? No. Does it necessarily track what's going on in the court? No. You can probably get those type of features, but no. Commonly, that's not a practice. So, yeah, they could probably get by with writing a bunch of fake-ass tickets and making it look like they're doing a really great job and get the overtime and really screwing the citizens or screwing their buddies.
Skimming off the bottom. And I know they can catch somebody speeding. Maybe they're afraid.
But it's interesting. It does kind of mess up the numbers because then you look at, and here's where it really gets kind of weird, is because now I'm reporting to federal agencies. That's where they're going to get in trouble for the fraud part of it, is you get federal funds when you report to different agencies your arrests and things like this. So, that's falsifying reports, and then they're getting funding.
Mm-hmm.
You follow the logic there? Kind of like when you see these guys do these little roadside DUI checkpoints and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they get those because they're doing a decent job of stopping DUIs, and they're getting money from the state or the federal government to do it. That's how that's coming by. So, that's another way these guys that could be falsifying tickets get that kind of money thrown at them when they really don't deserve it.
I think they're going to sweep this under the rug.
It'll be interesting to see. It's all fraud. Come on.
I don't know.
The people should think about that. That's the Connecticut. That's state money, state police. That's the citizens' money going to bad guys, right? Let's label them. Let's label them while we're labeling tonight. Bad guys.
They might as well. They might as well defund them. But I think they're gonna sweep it under the rug, or they're gonna clip the guy that's doing the investigation. Somebody's gonna get clipped. Some cops. They're gonna. Yeah,
we've seen this shit go down on TV. We know how it goes. Don't try
call
to
an
get
out
away.
of town shooting, get that guy clipped.
You're right.
Leave it alone, bro.
You're right. Hey, anyhow, man, we know what. Let's move on to something really, and this is kind of a nice gesture. We know it's just been hotter than blazes, right? And and especially Texas, down in the South, Florida, Arizona has just been really getting their butts kicked with this heat. But anyhow, hey, check it out.
This Amazon driver is about to get a refreshing surprise as he makes his rounds in the blazing California sun. The homeowner has left a note inviting him to take a dip in the pool. If you want to go for a swim, you are welcome to. And he does. He puts his phone and keys on a table and dives in, fully clothed. He didn't even take off his hat or Amazon vest. In Phoenix, another example of Americans helping one another in the great heat wave of 2023. This Good Samaritan noticed his mail carrier in distress and ran to her assistance.
She tried to pick up some packages and she kind of stumbled when she did that. And when I saw her do that, I was like, she's going to faint if she tries to walk to my house.
It turns out she's pregnant and is having a hard time with her deliveries on day 26 of unrelenting 100-degree heat. Meanwhile, in Florida, people are still flabbergasted that the water off Manatee Bay is as hot as a hot tub.
That stunning temperature of 101 degrees.
It's the hottest sea surface temperature ever recorded on the planet.
It's actually hotter in the ocean than many hot tubs.
It is hot. Oh my goodness.
Our Allison Hall is at Great Jones Spa in Manhattan.
Around 100, 102 degrees is the sweet spot. That's what you guys have this at.
That's what we have it.
And that's what the water in Florida feels like right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's
hard
crazy.
to believe.
Let's try this. I mean, that is really, really hot. That's crazy that the water in Florida feels like this hot tub.
Indeed.
Global warming.
Global warming. But that's sweet. That homeowners sit there to have a little note because they knew they were going to be getting an Amazon delivery. They sit there and, hey, man, I know it's 100+ degrees, and if you feel like cooling off, jump on in.
I just took my shoes and socks off because I don't like no wet socks and wet shoes.
Yeah, I thought that was really quite nice of them, actually. I'm like, that was
pretty good dial, too. Yeah, I just took my shoes and socks off, though. It's a good
Have
dial.
you seen anybody? I mean, what's been going on down in Texas? We're up here in Ohio. And I mean, it hasn't been horrible, Larry.
Oh, it's been horrible. I'm like, I was having problems breathing one day. They dried all the fluid up in my lung. I was like, oh, hell no.
Did it really?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, only other time I had that, I was training for a triathlon. And I had ran that day. I think I swam 4 hours. And then I had rode the bike for about a couple hours. And then I ran for about a 5K. And my lungs just tightened up on me. I dried out. I wasn't drinking enough water.
Oh, you dehydrated yourself.
Yeah, I just couldn't breathe. And my first thing to do, my lungs seized on me. So I was like, something's wrong. So yeah, it's bad. I've been there. I pushed my body to the limits to see, and then it's hot.
Do they have the cooling stations there? I remember when we was down in Texas before, I thought they had cooling stations for people to come in and try to get their. They don't care anymore.
Nah, that COVID, they ain't giving you nothing no more. You got to pay for everything.
Since COVID, there's no cooling stations. You're gonna have too bad.
No, it's pay stations now. Now you got to pay tips on everything, and you go to a restaurant now. Tell them, I don't know how it is down there. Today I went to a restaurant. They charged me $5 for bottomless drinks. The cup is about as big of a small Slurpee cup. She said $5. I'm like, I can buy a 12-pack of soda for $6. I can buy two liters for $4. Why would I buy a cup? Who drinks that many drinks? So they ain't giving up nothing. Nah. COVID and the heat, no prisoners. This heat doesn't care. It makes people not care.
Oh, everything's overpriced. I can't tell you the last time that we went out to like a steak restaurant. Because if I'm gonna buy a steak, I'll go to the butcher and I'll spend $8-9 and get a decent cut meat steak and put it on there, and I've saved myself how much money? You can easily drop $100 plus in a restaurant just on a steak dinner.
Oh, steak dinner, you're looking at least 35 on up.
Yeah, and I mean, come on.
For 8 ounce.
An 8 ounce.
Baseball steak.
Yeah, an 8 ounce steak, and I can get an 8 ounce at the butcher shop for $8. There's $7.50.
Yeah, so
yeah, you think you're getting hosed? Absolutely. And they still want their 15-20% tip, right?
After they give you bad customer service.
After they've treated you like shit the entire night. Because of COVID restrictions, right, Larry?
Oh my God. In the heat.
And in the freaking heat. Oh, what kind of world are we freaking living in? I don't know what to say about this. Anyhow, hey, with everything going on, the Republican race is going on, with Trump's in the lead and DeSantis is somewhere behind him, and you've got some of these other clowns, clamoring to try to, get on the ladder. But what I found interesting is it seems like a lot of the money that's getting funneled to Trump is actually going into his defense funds. I don't get how this works, but check it out.
Former President Donald Trump on offense over the weekend in battleground Pennsylvania.
You know, they're not indicting me, they're indicting you. I just happen to be standing in their way.
The GOP frontrunner called out the DOJ just days after he was hit with more charges in the investigation into his handling of classified materials. Among them, allegations he tried to have surveillance video erased after getting a subpoena for documents. Trump's former UN ambassador and now presidential primary rival, Nikki Haley, argues the mounting legal troubles are why it's time to move on.
We can't have a general election where we are handing it over to Kamala Harris because we're dealing with indictment and court cases and legal issues of President Trump.
But the latest polling shows former President Trump's legal woes haven't done much to hurt his campaign, pulling in more than 50% of support. The next closest, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, at just over 15%. DeSantis in early primary state New Hampshire.
We need to be focusing on using our energy and resources on defeating Biden and the Democrats.
Those comments amid news a pro-Trump PAC has spent more than $40 million on legal expenses for the former president and his aides just this year.
$40 million on legal defense for what? Classified documents, paying off a porn star, insurrection, right? Inciting an insurrection. And you know what's really messed up that I heard, because a lot of it was for Trump and his associates, right? This $40 million payload of money that they got to spend. But the one guy, I don't know if you've heard this, one of his workers there, they got him on tape to where, he was told to move the documents. And so they got him in there testifying now. But since he's testifying against Trump, he gets no legal representation. So he's out. He's done.
He's
So as long as you're defending Trump, it's okay. But if he throws you under the bus and you got to go in there and testify, well, this is what really happened, you're screwed, and find your own lawyer.
Man, you know what? I think people.
This shit's a scam, man. I'm just saying.
People are obsessed with Trump, man. I didn't realize he was that far ahead in the primaries. I'm like, this guy's
52%, and the next closest guy, DeSantis, is at 15. It's like,
it goes to show you what kind of quality candidates we have now.
Oh yeah, and you heard the one woman's remark, right? She goes, "If we, we're going to elect Kamala," which is basically, I understand the philosophy. Biden's old as dirt, and we probably should have another person that would represent the Democratic Party besides him. But hey, that's what it is.
But what is she actually doing now?
Who's that, Kamala?
She's like an actual real side chick. You know what I'm saying? You're the side chick. She's a true to life side chick in reality.
And I mean, I don't know. Last I seen her, she was down in Florida, bashing Sanchez for the black education standards.
Okay, well that's the story. But she went kicking up dust like she's the first female vice president. But I'm like, she has to be doing a little bit more to get her name out there and be more active. I'm just very disappointed in her because they were talking all this hype. First female black president, she ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, it would behoove her to have had a little bit more active role in some of the stuff. But
I'm like, this is a prime example because the president is not all totally coherent, and that's a great time for her to step in and take over some of the tasks that he has, or be there with him in something, or put her on the forefront or whatever. I'm like, I really don't understand in this situation why she's not more active. So I'm really disappointed. And the way she's just sitting there dormant. I'm like, she has to do more, because who else do we have? Who's leading the Democratic primaries?
It's got to be Biden. That's it.
That's it.
That's your choice. I mean, there's going to have to be somebody step up and say,
You said it all confidently. That's
Here's your choice. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a choice.
A choice, and they have, really, it's a mess.
You know, like I said, you know, I mean, on the Republican side, you got DeSantis, you got Trump.
You know, when Biden finishes being president, we does his 4-year term, we shouldn't have a president. We just need to have like a spokesperson.
That's what we need. Just a figurehead, just somebody up there.
Just like someone like the commercials, how the commercial movie guys just have somebody just to speak. That's all they do is come up there and say this, and then walk off. And then let the government work for itself, because that's what it's really doing, because presidents really don't have absolute power to pass a bill, you know. So it has to be okay by everybody. So what's the true purpose other than he or she is a spokesperson or person? That's all I see.
Yeah, you know, we could just get like Jeff Dunham to get one of his dummies up there.
Yeah.
You know, get what's that crazy one?
Right, it's a black dude that does one too. Color hair, the black dude, he got one. He'd be like, yeah, that. I mean, seriously, man, everybody.
That's what it's like sometimes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, every week, like commercial, you have every topic should have a different person to do it. One should be a comedian, one should be a sports guy, except for Herschel Walker. One should be an actor.
It's you know, we can laugh, but
if you're gonna make it that commercial, if you're gonna make it that cartoonish, you might as well do it like that.
It's disappointing,
pathetic, man.
It is pathetic. It is pathetic. Speaking of pathetic, let's move on to pathetic. Let's get to one of the favorite parts of the week, and that is our asshole award. And actually, we have 2 assholes. And let's start with what we'll call a political circus.
We might not want to show too much of the bottom part there, but without too many curse words here, sir. No. What are your thoughts?
I don't have friends. I don't have family.
He's honest. He cares about kids. He cares about guns. He cares about our country.
Trump is mean.
Right now, my rights are being denied by the FBI.
I'm a proud Polish person.
He tells the truth, never lies.
I'm old. You can see I'm old. I'm older.
We need to get down on our hands and knees and pray for this man to get into office.
Trump has a big mouth. We all have big mouths. Right, people? Trump! Trump! Trump!
His Christian values that he stands for.
We love Trump! We love Trump! We love Trump!
But definitely not woke, definitely not anything about any of that type of mentality.
Evil's taken over. Good needs to overcome the evil, and Donald Trump is going to do it.
King Jesus first and then King Trump.
And China. Put an end to it.
It's my birthday weekend.
The left and the rhinos, the globalists.
They kill them all. Kill them all.
There you go.
What the fuck did he say?
Let's see here.
It was a bunch of circus shit. It was motherfuckers dancing. Can't even dance right, doing the Running Man.
That was at that Iowa convention. Remember when we had we did a cut last week at where Marjorie Taylor Greene was supposed to be making bad remarks but made good remarks at that convention in Iowa. Those are these people that are Trump supporters. And
he said
he doesn't lie. He doesn't lie. I'm like, okay, he's got good Christian values.
Polish proud. I'm like,
and wait, King Jesus and then King Donald.
Let me tell you something. If I was at that Trump rally, I would have been mushing people in their face. Shut your ass up.
Shut the hell up. What is wrong with you? What drug are you on? You must have had a cord wrapped around your neck when you were born. It was oxygen deprivation that just screwed you up for life.
I'd have got arrested or beat down one of them. I'm like, because
your brain is not working. Yeah, that's amazing to me. But, folks, because we love you, we have another one.
What in the world was she thinking? This woman in shorts is risking a lot as she poses for a selfie at Yellowstone National Park with a giant bison. Watch as she snaps a bunch of photos of herself with the beast. She's very lucky the bison is in chill mode and didn't attack her. But that wasn't the case when this woman tries to pet another bison and quickly gets the scare of her life. Her friends are about to take a photo when the beast lunges. She flees and takes a stumble, but she's very lucky the bison didn't charge her. She could have been gored.
A bison can grow to be 2,000 pounds. It can run 35 miles an hour. This is not something you just go in there and, smile and take a picture with.
And what is this guy doing holding a baby bison? Well, he spotted the calf lagging behind the herd and decides to help it catch up. But that's a big no-no. Yellowstone rules prohibit visitors from getting within 75 feet of wildlife. The calf had to be euthanized after the herd repeatedly rejected it.
People touching and handling bison, we actually are transferring our scent onto the coats of those calves and babies. They don't want to accept that animal back into the herd because it smells like a threat.
So, as summer gets into full swing, a reminder: stay away from the wild animal.
That girl is dumb as hell. I was hoping that big ass, those things are huge, but she wanted to make sure that her social media was all up to date, right? Look at that. Smile, guys.
I'm like, I don't mess around with horses. I'm afraid it's gonna kick me in my back or something or whatever. Come on, bro.
I don't trust.
I'm going to see it. That's white people shit.
I don't trust any animal, even though we have. I've had dogs all my life. You've been around dogs, Larry, right?
Even a chihuahua.
Even a dog will have its moments.
Cats
will have their moment.
Shit,
You're right. I mean, don't. They're still animals.
Worst case scenario, you would get bitten, but knocked down by a dog. Well, bitten, severely bitten. A bison.
That thing's 10 times my size.
Oh, come on. That poor baby bison, that guy, I'm going to save it. Dumbass.
And then they had to euthanize it?
Oh, my God. I'm just glad there wasn't no brother out there doing that.
Well, you would wonder if somebody, I guess euthanizing was an option, but I mean, I would sit there and think, gosh, couldn't you, somehow adopt that thing out to somebody who would, milk feed it for a while or some shit, whether it's euthanized.
Honestly, I really thought you was going to show the video. I'm going to have to send it to you with the brother that's from Mississippi or whatever. You remember the black white supremacist Dave Chappelle?
Mm-hmm.
It's a real live brother just like that.
Oh, well, I'm going to send it to you. We get it to us. We can make him our asshole of the week.
It's hilarious.
I always enjoy doing that. Why not? Larry, lead us out, brother.
All right, man. Check me out on Instagram, IG at LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. Same thing on Facebook, LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. I haven't posted lately because I've been busy working. I'm a full-time joint, so I'm going to start trying to post more lately. But this is my tip. Usually I don't give you workout tips because it depends on what exercise you're doing. And there are so many exercises you can do, whether it's cardio or weightlifting or power or strength or agility. But I'm going to tell you this, no matter what you do fitness-wise, stretch. You want to stretch 5 to 10 minutes prior, stretch afterwards 5 to 10 minutes. You do it before because it gives your muscles time to loosen up and lengthen, basically, because if you lifting weights, you're going to contract your muscles. So you want them to be a little bit longer prior to lifting weights. Then after you lift weights, when they're constricted, you want to stretch again to lengthen, I can't say it right, to lengthen your muscles again so you avoid injuries, because the tighter your muscles are, the more of a chance of you pulling it or injuring yourself when they're tight or constricted. So stretch 5 to 10 before, 5 to 10 after, do a cool down along with the stretching exercises. LRE Fitness Solutions, IG and Facebook. Someone please teach me how to say lengthen. Lengthen, I think it's right.
Lengthen.
Tend your muscles. I'm so country.
That's all right.
Get me out of here, Tim. Get me out of here.
That's all right. We can get stuck on words. Words have been our topic for the evening, Larry. So, hey, sometimes words are hard to pronounce, and sometimes we, have to utilize those words in positive fashions. I mean, what we need to start learning, especially within our family and within our friends, within our own little network, if you want to call it your circle, however we want to put that into our ideal of what our friends are around us and our family is use power words with these people. Don't be using demeaning words. Demeaning a person is not going to accomplish anything, and it's not really going to have any production behind it. So, once we use power words and we are accentuating the positive in an individual, you're going to see the results that you want to get. If you do demean a person, we decide that we want to start labeling individuals, you're going to see the division within your family and within your own friend circles that we're experiencing in this country right now, folks. Positive power words. Focus on it this week. What do you think, Larry?
Tim.
We got to get that. Lengthen. You did it perfectly, my friend. There we got it. See?
I thought my words sucked.
Second freaking try. You got it. I'll tell you what, man. Let's get the heck on out of here and tell everybody to enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Until next week, we are so out of here. Peace, man. Bye.